Hello, welcome to Fundamental Skills 1. Today we're going to learn a few basic things about the guitar if you've never played it before, like how to hold your pick, what the names of the strings are, what all the parts of the guitar are, just to get you acquainted with this instrument. Now, there's a lot of ways to hold your pick, but the best way to start out with is if you take your picking hand, probably your right hand if you're right-handed, or if you're going to play right-handed, and have your thumb up like this. What we're going to do is put the pick right here on your finger, on top of your index finger, on the side of it. And when I put my thumb down, you'll see I'll have the pick like this. It'll be having the pointy end facing outwards, so when I bring it into my guitar, it's actually pointing towards me or towards the guitar, so I can pick with that pointy end. I don't want to hold the pick like this. I don't want to hold it between my two fingers. That seems like a common way to hold it, but really what I want to do is hold it on this finger. So I'll give you a couple of different angles to look at it there. I'm on the side of my first finger and on the flat part of my thumb. It looks kind of like that. So again, if you just hold your thumb up, you can place that pick right down on the side of your middle finger, or your index finger, and then put your thumb flat on it, and you pretty much got the best way to hold the pick. From there, what we're going to do is pick that low string and fall to the next string like this. And continue with each string falling to the string below it until you run out of strings. A little quicker it would be. We call that a rest stroke because we're resting on each next string as we go. Okay, once you get that down, you might want to do an upstroke, the same thing with a rest stroke. Again, I'm falling on each string. Okay, so now let's try some free stroking. What you're going to do is a down and an upstroke on each string. So we're going to pick down and up on each string. Again, a little faster. How about 4? This is good because it makes you get used to holding your pick in that way. That might be a little unfamiliar because again, we don't want to hold it like this, but we want to tuck that finger in. Tuck your index finger in, kind of like you've got a fist, and then just put your thumb right down on top of it so that when you pick, your pick is pointing towards you, the pointy end of it. Okay, so now your left hand, whenever you play a note, you want to play behind the fret, not right on the fret, but just behind it. So if I play my open E string, and I want to play a note on the first fret, it doesn't mean to play on the fret, but right next to it. And if I play the second fret with another finger, same thing. Always behind the fret. So here's the next exercise we're going to do. Just on that high string, we're going to play open. We're going to play the first fret, second, third, and pinky. If that seems like a big stretch for you, which it might, you can play it up here. Let's try it up here on the 7th fret. That's up here. You may need to count it first until you get used to knowing that the dots are 3, 5, and 7. So here if we play 7, 8, 9, 10, you can do that on each string. Okay, so that'll get you started with holding the pick the correct way, picking nice and easy, and adding that left hand. The goal here is to synchronize the two hands so that they're working together. Now, one other thing that you want to know is what are the names of these strings and the parts of this guitar? Okay, so names of your strings are kind of easy to remember if you remember this simple phrase I tell some of my younger students. Elephants and donkeys grow big ears. So elephants is your E string, and donkeys grow big ears. Take the first letter of each word, E, A, D, G, B, E. This is your low string, this is your high string. Even though this one's closer to the ground, it's not your low string. This is your high string, it sounds the highest, and this is your low string because it sounds the lowest. So E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay? So, of course, when we put our fingers on the note, on the strings on a different fret, like the 5th fret, that's no longer an E anymore. That's actually a different note. That's an A. See the lesson on learning the names of your notes to get more of that. Now, again, we want to really get a good synchronization between these two hands. And when you get tired of playing these basic exercises where you're just getting all your fingers moving, you might want to play something a little bit more interesting, like a song or a scale. There's the Easy Songs gallery that you can look at and learn some basic songs. And scales are also in another lesson, so check that one out. And one other thing on technique, the right hand, you can either move from your elbow or you can move from your wrist, depending on what you're playing. When we're playing single notes, we probably want to have our hand touching the guitar in some place, so that we're not playing like this, but like this. So I have a support. If I'm playing on the high strings, playing this exercise, say that we were doing before with the notice the whole time my hand is actually touching the strings right here and pivoting with this kind of picking motion. Now, if I were to play on the low strings, I can't have my hand touching the string here, otherwise it'll sound like nothing. It'll sound kind of dead. So instead of having my hand touch here, I'm going to move my hand like this. So it's just, instead of my palm, my pinky will kind of be touching, not like this on the guitar, but curled in, just touching the strings, kind of like I'm knocking on the door here. And that allows me to have some kind of support so that when my hand moves, it's not moving such a big motion. It's moving more in just a small, tiny motion like this. So now, if I play, you can see I'm only doing a small motion with my hand, and my pinky and my ring finger are kind of anchored up to the strings. If I wanted to continue up, all I need to do is, as I'm going, switch over to my palm to support and keep going. Again, if I go through that whole thing, you'll see my hand go from this position to this position. Instead of really going all the way across, all I have to do is lift it to touch the pinky or to touch the palm, depending on where I am. And this is something you'll see all guitar players do whenever they're picking individual notes. So that's it for the technique lesson. There are going to be many other lessons to follow. So stay tuned and practice slowly, accurately, and I wish you luck.